Your learning objectives should be measurable, which naturally leads to questions of assessment. Objectives and assessment are really integrally bound together. You need to know what you want students to do in order to assess their progress toward that goal. The goal of alignment is to ensure that your assessments match your learning outcomes. If you're teaching someone a procedure, you should assess whether or not they can perform that procedure. If you're teaching them a concept, you should assess whether or not they can apply that concept. Therefore, you don't want to assess whether or not someone can recall facts about tarantulas if your objective is for the student to treat tarantula bites. Mixing up fact and procedure in real life can have some pretty serious consequences, so you should be careful to align your assessments in your teaching. You can think of alignment in terms of Bloom's taxonomy. Each level of knowledge leads naturally to certain types of assessment. You may use multiple choice exams to test how well students remember vocabulary or definitions or dates in history, but you wouldn't use such a test to determine if someone can build a bridge or perform brilliantly in a job interview. You should be aware that objective tests are not the best types of assessment for active learning. First, quiz questions have traditionally been used to test what a student remembers: the elements in the periodic table, the date of the defeat of the Spanish Armada, the facts surrounding the Teapot Dome scandal. Therefore, you really shouldn't emphasize factual knowledge in your assessments of active learning. This is where Bloom's taxonomy can be very helpful. Your thinking about assessments needs to undergo a kind of sea change. How could assessments be used to further the mastery of skills, not just test the recall of facts? Naturally, you can employ some assessment types at more than one level of knowledge and still be effective. For example, having students debate an issue requires them both to analyze and to evaluate. The big distinction is between the lower order skills, levels 1 through 3, and the higher order skills, levels 4 through 6. Here are the optimal assessment types for each level of Bloom's taxonomy. For remembering, consider multiple choice exams, multiple response exams, true-false questions. For understanding, consider oral presentations, multiple choice exams, multiple response exams, and true-false questions. For applying, consider using checklists, simulations, or scenario-based projects, and the performance of a task. For analyzing, consider using essay tests, case studies and simulations, or problem-solving scenarios. For evaluating, consider using essay tests, case studies and simulations, debate, and reflective or self-assessment essays. Finally, for creating, consider essay tests, case studies and simulations, actual product creation, and portfolios.